Okay, we all know what happened in Buffalo. Some asshole, fueled by racial hatred, went into a top supermarket and shot up a whole bunch of innocent people. And it's a despicable act. Nobody that I know supports it. There are a few people out there that probably do. We know that. But nobody I know supports it. It's the one event that I know of that pretty much joined everybody in condemnation. And you would think that people on the other side of the political aisle would have been happy at least to know that the other side joins them in their ire against the person who did this despicable act. However, some people just can't be happy. And I'm talking about the race baiters. And we have one here. Let's read the headline. This is Breakfast Club Power, and the title is Buffalo shooting suspect's family. His family blames COVID for his actions. And I know what you're thinking. Oh my God. I mean, they gathered his sisters and his brothers and his parents, and they all gathered around and said, it was COVID. No, that's not what happened. Not even close. But keep in mind, we have to somehow deepen the racial divide, even if we have to search far and wide for relatives that can make statements that we can disagree with. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
All right, Charlene, please tell me, why was I your donkey of the day?
Probably because you're white.
Yeah, today for Tuesday, May 17th, goes to 68-year-old Sandra Komaroff. Do you know who Sandra Komaroff is?
No.
Of course not, but I'm going to tell you. She is a relative of the cold-blooded, racist, bigoted murderer, Peyton Gendron.
Oh my God, the way he says racist murderer, that's really going to sting. Here's a little clue. That little punk doesn't care what you call him, so don't think that you're really twisting the knife in him. But whatever the case, Sandra Komaroff, 68-year-old relative. Well, let's see how close of a relative she really is.
If you don't know who Peyton Gendron is, he's the 18-year-old thug who decided to go into a Tops-friendly market and take the life of 10 black people in Buffalo, New York this past weekend, sending healing energy to the families of the victims. I can't even begin to feel and don't ever want to feel what y'all going through right now. But Sandra Komaroff is the cousin of this thug's, okay, Peyton's mom, and
That's right. They found somebody. The mom's cousin. I'm not kidding.
I don't even know who asked her and why she did, but she decided to give her thoughts on why she felt like Peyton, committed the murders.
Why would anybody ask her? Well, I don't know. It does seem kind of weird that they would go to his mom's cousin of all people. But then again, why are you broadcasting it if it's so inconsequential?
That he did. She was talking to the New York Post, and she said, and I quote, "I have no idea how he could have gotten caught up in this. I blame it on COVID."
She's 68 years old. She doesn't understand what happened. He seemed like a good guy. He's never expressed anything like this before. And he does something like this, and people are sticking a microphone in your face. And so you're naturally going to try to blame something. It's like when you hear the knock in your car and you think, that blasted mechanic, he changed the spark plugs the other day. He must be at fault. It's the same thing. You look for something traumatic that happened to him and you think, gee, that must have been it. It's normal human behavior.
Now listen, we have blamed COVID for a lot of things, and rightfully so, but one thing we're not going to blame COVID for is racism. Okay, we're not going to blame COVID for bigotry. Unless COVID is code for the American way, there is no logical reason to blame this on COVID, but I will continue.
Why do you want to continue? It's his mom's cousin. Who cares? But you see, they are so desperate to find someone that they can find to say something that they can rant about. They can't get it from his siblings. They can't get it from his parents or his grandparents. Oh, we found somebody. His mom's cousin is willing to say something that we can criticize and complain about. Jesus, this is pathetic.
Sandra Komarov said Peyton was very paranoid about getting COVID, extremely paranoid to the point that his friends were saying he would wear a hazmat suit to school. Listen, what was the key?
That's pretty strange. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty strange. That is paranoia. Does it explain the tops thing? I don't know. I'm not a psychologist.
Key thing they told us to do to avoid getting COVID. What was the reason all of us was in the house quarantining, working from home? Why did Zoom get so popular? 2 words, 5 syllables. Social distancing. Okay, which means to avoid people. And if you do get near people, stay 6 feet away. Going to a supermarket to randomly kill black people is not social distancing. In fact, if you were really scared of COVID and stayed your ass home, then those beautiful people who were killed in Top Supermarket would be alive today.
This is really thin logic here, but whatever. I don't have the patience to sit there and sort through all that crap.
Okay, Sandra, his mama's cousin, continued and said Peyton got COVID a few weeks ago. He went to a family function with a respirator mask on, and he totally wasn't going to get COVID, and then he got COVID. I know what y'all thinking. I
doubt it.
All the people who passed the COVID didn't take the right one out. I know.
That was not what I was thinking.
Okay, Sandra, his mama's cousin, said they were vaxxed to the max. That's her exact words. That's really what she said. And I don't know if it was a bad case. I just know he caught it. She is stressing that he bought into the fear of COVID. She is claiming that isolation and paranoia over COVID could have caused him to commit this massacre. Let me tell you something. It's no secret I suffer from bad anxiety. Okay, a lot more manageable now because of therapy and other mindfulness techniques I've been practicing over the.
Oh, here's the old, well, I have anxiety, so I can speak on behalf of everybody that's had anxiety. And I'm now an expert on it. Okay.
Yeah, so, I understand being under the fear of isolation and paranoia, but what that got to do with being racist?
Who knows? I don't know. The human brain is kind of hard to figure out. But he became racist somehow. He didn't come out racist. Something happened to him. Maybe he got influenced by people around him, or what? I have no idea.
Okay, what that got to do with being a bigot? All right, his mama cousin said that's the only way to say it. And when you're home all day on the internet, you're missing out on human contact. There's a lot of emotions and a lot of body language you're not getting as when you see their face. Again, what the F does this have to do with your 18-year-old thug-ass cousin Peyton being a racist, bigoted mass murderer?
Why are you getting on her? I mean, there are a lot of people out there who are applauding what he did. Why don't you train your guns on them? Instead, you found some 68-year-old woman who's just trying to understand what happened. And she can't think of any reason why he did this. And so she's latching on to anything that she can, saying, it must have been this, it must have been that. So what? It's normal human behavior. And you're training all your attention on her and attacking her as if she went and shot up Top Supermarket.
Then her husband David chimed in and said, in theory, COVID could have affected what they call the lizard brain. Oh, all you YouTube conspiracy theorists out there, I think he's admitting that Peyton is potentially a blood-drinking, flesh-eating, shape-shifting, extraterrestrial, reptilian humanoid with only one objective, and that's murder.
Okay, Mr. Enlightened Liberal. Ye of such huge cranial powers. There is such a thing as the lizard brain. Your Lizard Brain by Joseph Tronkai, MD. This is in Psychology Today. The limbic system and brain functioning. It states, in 1954, the limbic cortex was described by neuroanatomists. Since that time, the limbic system of the brain has been implicated as the seat of emotion, addiction, mood, and lots of other mental and emotional processes. It is the part of the brain that is phylogenetically very primitive. Many people call it the lizard brain because the limbic system is about all a lizard has for brain function. It is in charge of fight, flight, feeding, fear, freezing up, and fornication. You notice how they used all F's there? Ha ha ha. Very clever. But whatever the case, there is such a part of the brain called the lizard brain. It's obviously a nickname. So how did I know this? I looked it up. Obviously you couldn't. But let's get back to your enlightenment. Liberals. They think they're so damn intellectual.
Her husband said, I can't say it's impossible, but maybe that would happen one out of so many millions of times. What the hell are they even talking about? Don't nobody get the benefit of the doubt like a white man in America, okay?
Oh, like a white man in America. Gee, that kind of sounds racist. But weren't you going off and on about how we should get rid of racism? And that it's a major problem?
Peyton was a racist bigot who wanted to kill black people. Full stop. Okay? That's it. It's a story as old as time.
Wow, what an intellectual. Man, he should be in charge of a research group because his way of handling these complex issues involving the brain is, well, it's just racism, so stop. I don't want to hear no more. Oh, you have a theory? You just shut up. Yeah. The intellectual elite they think they are.
And by his time, I mean in the history of this country. Peyton just carrying on tradition. This is an oldie, not goodie. Okay, Sandra said, I don't understand the racist thing because my family is the farthest thing from racist. I've never heard a racist comment from him, from his parents. It's almost like he just snapped. Something in him broke. No, something in Peyton activated. Okay, I don't know if people are inherently evil, but I do not and will not ever understand racism.
That is true. You will never understand it because you have no intellectual prowess at all. You have no intellectual curiosity and you have no use for any kind of deep thinking. This 68-year-old woman is trying to come to grips with what happened. She's trying to find an explanation. Obviously, she's biased. She's a member of the family, although your headline is pure clickbait, and you should be ashamed of yourself for that. But whatever the case, she's an older woman. She's trying to come to grips with this, and she has an explanation. So what? Again, there are a lot of people out there applauding what he did. There's a lot of other people who are maybe plotting what he did. And you're worried about her and her husband, who, by the way, said nothing bad at all. They didn't say anything racist. In fact, they're denying it.
Okay, can you imagine hating someone simply because they aren't the same race as you?
Yeah, kind of like what you said about white people, 30 seconds ago. I mean, you can't get more hypocritical than this. Just 30 seconds ago, he was clamoring about how white people are. And now he's saying, can you imagine about racism? How people could be racist and hate others because of the color of their skin? As my father used to say, get to know your enemies well, because you're probably just like them. And in this case, yeah, he is.
You think your race is superior, mine is inferior, therefore you get to decide whether I live or die? The thing that saddens me the most about this is that it's never going to stop. There is no cure for racism. There is no cure for hate. There is no cure.
Right. You proved it. You just got done talking about how white people are this way and how these white people are the problem. So you're right. There will never be a cure for it as long as people like you are around.
Cure for bigotry. I think a lot of us have been waiting for old people with that racist mentality to die, but this thug Peyton Gendron was 18. So it seems like it's a never ending cycle. And sadly, we're going to have to deal with this forever. And the internet don't make it any better.
Yeah, the internet doesn't make it any better. because people go out and make YouTube channels where they go ahead and target 68-year-old women and then blame white people for stuff. That's the reason why it will never disappear.
You know, Sandra said, I don't know where he went online, the dark web, and he got into some nasty stuff. No, he got into some American stuff. He found his tribe. And since this country doesn't, want to teach the real history of America, thugs like Peyton buy into false narratives online, lies online, misinformation online, like white replacement theory. Okay, that puts fuel on their racist fire.
White replacement theory? What about critical race theory? Oh, he's going to mention that here in a moment.
Look, America, we can't heal what we don't reveal. And hell, when it comes to racism, even when it's revealed, I don't think it can be healed. Like I said before, there is no cure for racism. There is no cure for hate. There is no cure for bigotry. It's a never-ending American cycle that always has been and sadly always will be. And until we can deal with the truth of that matter, nothing, and I mean nothing, will change. Dave and Sandra, I need you both to shut the F up forever. Okay, COVID has taken a lot of lives. But as far as I know, it hasn't caused anyone to take them. Okay, isolation and paranoia has caused people during COVID to take their own life. But isolation and paranoia, as far as I know, hasn't caused anyone to take other people's lives.
Oh no, paranoia has never caused anybody to take other people's lives? Are you kidding me? Does the name Joseph Stalin mean anything to you? He killed 20 million because he was paranoid.
Okay, there is only one disease that caused your murderous, thug-ass, bigoted-ass relative Peyton to do what he did, and that disease is racism. In the words of Albert Einstein, racism is America's greatest disease.
Yeah, in his words 50 years ago.
Racism is a disease of the white man.
Oh, I see, but racism is never a disease of the black man, huh? Okay.
End quote. And sadly, I don't think it's a cure for it. Please give Sandra and David Komaroff. Matter of fact, let Kathy Griffin give Sandra and David Komaroff the biggest hee-haw.
Please give this giant jar of mayo the biggest hee-haw.
Giant jar of mayo? Isn't mayonnaise white? Okay. By the way, he was crying there about how we can't teach students about the real America. He's talking about critical race theory. All right? And then he was complaining about white replacement theory. Those two theories are just two sides of the same coin. Racial hatred. So, sorry. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.